Hey guys, Hawk here. This is my unboxing and review of the VN247H-P monitor by ASUS. So I'm just going to jump into it while I talk about this monitor a little bit. One of the biggest reasons why I got it is because of the bezel. A lot of companies out there say that their bezel is like less than a millimeter, which is absolutely crap. But this one has a really small, it just came out in January. This is a VGA cable, no one cares. Audio cable manual, DVI to HDMI. But I'll put the specs in the description and everything. But a lot of the times you'll see people advertise that their screen and show pictures that their screen is like right up against the bezel, but that's completely inaccurate. And the screen is right up there, that's no joke. Because a lot of times when it's this close, the screen will actually be right about here, and it's a complete rip-off. But this one looks nice. Done a lot of research into this one. Take that off later. And then the back, I/O is in the bottom, which I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. Manual, power cable, and then the stand. Going over some of the cabling it came with: a standard 6-foot stereo audio cable, 5-foot VGA cable, an HDMI to DVI, which you're not going to get any audio off this because while HDMI has audio, DVI does not. And also a power cable. This one's already unwrapped from the twist tie because I've actually been using this monitor. But all of these cables are the flexible kind. They're not the cheap kind that don't flex. You know, those really inexpensive ones that don't flex at all. These ones are good. These ones flex all the way to the end there. And that's with all the cables. So let's go over some of the pros and cons about this monitor. It claims that it has less than a 1 centimeter bezel. That's not exactly true. The frame itself is 9 millimeters, and then the bezel actually comes in right at 1 centimeter because there is a little bit of a gap between the frame and the actual screen that it's showing you. The only complaint that I've really heard from this monitor is the fact that the stand is wobbly and that the color is crap. Now the color is not that big of a deal because you can adjust that manually, so you're not going to have too much of a problem there. The stand I don't think is that big of a deal. It is obviously a little bit wobbly, you can see that, and that wobbles for a while. Now this isn't actually too big of a problem for me because I plan on using that VESA mount, and it's going to be connected to my wall, so no matter how hard I pound on my desk, it's not going to be that big of a deal. But this desk I built myself, and I'm not bragging or anything, but when I hit it, it doesn't move the monitor at all. You can see that. And I have a feeling that anyone who's complaining about this monitor being wobbly just has a really cheap desk on wheels, and whenever they hit the desk, it's going to wobble the monitor. So if you have a cheaper desk, you might want to consider getting a monitor with a better base. So I plan on eventually getting 4 monitors just like this, but for now I'm going to stick with one, and then eventually I'm going to get a second one, probably put it over here, and then use that to monitor all my stats and stuff when I'm recording and gaming. And then once I get my third, I'm not going to get my third one until I get another graphics card in SLI, so that way I can game that way, and then I'll probably get a 4th one to monitor my stats, because I have a feeling once I start monitoring my stats, I'm really going to miss it once I start using all 3 for gaming. Now one of the cons I found is that the I/O is so close, not really that close, it's like 3 inches. It's 3 inches from the base, and the problem with that is that these cords have just barely that much give when you're plugging them in there, and especially with stiffer cables like HDMI, you're going to have a little bit of trouble kind of angling them upwards so that you don't see them below. Now what I'm actually going to do is get a right angle power cable for this, so when I plug it up in there and I mount it on my VESA mount, I will have my cable kind of being more hidden. And I might do that for my HDMI, but I don't know about that one. So keep in mind, if you're trying to hide your cables a lot, you might have to go out and get adapters for it. Now that brings us to the back of the monitor. First of all, this little plate right here actually does pop up, but it also comes out like that, which makes it a lot easier for you to manage your cables coming out because that's right up there. That plastic you're seeing right here, I just haven't taken off yet because I'm going to wait as long as I can on that. You have your speakers here, which I honestly thought was going to be ventilation, and I ran it for a long time and I put my hand there. That's not where the heat is coming out from. It's actually distributing out more out the bottom than anything else. This is your speakers. Back here you have your standard 100mm VESA mount, however you prefer to say it. And there are little rubber pieces protecting those holes. The entire texture of the back might not be too big of a deal, but you're going to have this monitor for a while, so it's important to note. There is a slight texture to it, which is great because it's not going to leave any fingerprints when you're trying to grab around, because you don't want to grab the monitor, the front of the monitor itself, obviously. Some other things I just wanted to go over really quick about this monitor are, if you're looking to get this to play a console like your Xbox or something, which I'm actually doing right here, it's actually really great because since you can plug in the HDMI and it has the speakers, all you need is one cable going from your Xbox to the monitor, and it will play audio and it will play everything that you need, and you're pretty much good to go. And the audio is surprisingly decent for this monitor, because usually audio quality on monitors, especially thin ones, are kind of terrible, but this one's actually tolerable and I don't mind using it, even though most of the sound is deflected more towards the back than the actual front. But it's okay for me because I'm actually in a corner. Sorry for the lighting. I'm actually in the corner, so it kind of deflects off that and bounces back at me. What I plan on doing is, once I get my computer, I'm going to plug the first one into the first HDMI switch on here, and then I'm going to plug my Xbox into the second switch. So all I'll have to do is use that quick button to switch between my console and the computer. So go ahead and hit like, subscribe for more videos, and tell me what you think in the comment section below. Until next time.